Uh-oh, uh-oh. I lost my ticket to go to the gun show. I was gonna be front row. Oh, it hides names. That's cool. Who are these people? It completely fucking hides all of their names. Interesting. Shut up! Here. Come here. You cannot use the double gulp cup for the fucking Slurpee? What's new? Shh. Toolbar? Is that a thing? Am I showing like bullshit here that I shouldn't be? I don't think so. I don't know. I don't have a fucking toolbar and I don't even use it, so. Didn't it already do this? Google Lens now translates text inside of images, videos, and more. Is it just within Chrome? I don't use it in Chrome. I use it on my phone. Okay, I need to change the title as well to like goofing around or some shit. We'll say Python programming video games, smiley face. Awesome. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You cannot use the fucking Slurpee with the double gulp cup. Ain't no way. Shut the fuck up. It's too long. Like I said, the hair is too long. I look so cringe. Cringe maxing. I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll do some schoolwork. I fucking guess. What? Course evaluation. What does that mean? Okay. As we start to wind down the semester, I'd really appreciate it if you could take a few minutes to complete the student course evaluation. Your feedback is incredibly helpful in improving both the course and my teaching. There's some of these for each of the classes, and I have 2 classes, a government class and a Python coding class. And the government class is, I don't know if I have any complaints about it. The coding class has so many random fucking issues, though. So maybe I'll complain about that one. Shh. I think it feels weird that the government class doesn't actually have like that much work. There's like a quiz and a discussion every week, and that's basically it. And the quiz is like 5 questions. What's wrong with my fucking... You cannot use the fucking... Yo, come here. Come here. No, come here. Don't run. I got you, you shit. That's fucking awesome. I didn't run. Content. Week 7? How many weeks are there? There's only 10 weeks. It's Jover. So Jover. Shh. 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 Fuck my hair. This looks really odd, though. Hate it all. So we're doing files and inheritance, but I need to catch up on all this old shit. Uh-oh. Is this gonna be so fucking hard to do? A class will commonly share attributes with another class, but with some additions or variations. A store inventory system might use a class called item having name and quantity attributes, but for fruits and vegetables, a class produce might have the attributes name, quantity, and expiration date. Note that produce is really an item with an additional feature, so ideally a program could define the produce class as being the same as the item class, but with the addition of the expiration date. Okay, a class is derived from another class. Do I have to go back and do, like, the classes module? Because I don't know classes that well. Like, they make some sense, but... Name, quantity... Oh, so you can put right here. you can make a new class, and then inside parentheses, derived from a different class. So does it just inherit all of these? And then it has this extra shit, right? Oh, item dot. Okay, so there's two of these lines, whereas this one there's only one. So this call base class constructor, I don't know what all that means, but it constructs everything here. Cool. Alright, well, what's the activity? Because I don't need to know as much to complete that. Like, what about this? Oh, fuck this. The program's output? Where's the print? It's right here. So car is a type of vehicle. Okay, this is gonna hurt my brain. I need to look at this. What is this shit? Self.print speed. Oh, it comes from this thing. This actually doesn't have the speed variable anywhere in it. It's right here. So we do like speed. Is it 45? Yeah. Animal powered vehicle. Awesome. My car. Oh wait, no, this is different. I was hoping that my car was animal powered. That'd be so sick. Alright. So are we trying to... Okay, just look at it for like 2 seconds. Okay, so we're doing my car first. Print car speed. So it's the same as last time. And the car speed is 20, I hope. And cart, wait. We say horse, right, horse speed. Is it just 3? Why the fuck is the horse so slow? How fast is a horse? Don't they go pretty fast? You dumb motherfucker, just give me the answer. Look at this, 40 miles per hour over a short distance if they're really going hard. Why isn't there just a simple answer? 30 miles per hour? Like, they go pretty fast. I was thinking they go at least 20 miles per hour. I don't know what the fuck this speed is supposed to be. The horse is literally walking. If it's in miles per hour, it's just speed. It doesn't say what kind. Maybe it's kilometers per hour, bruv. My car is an electric car. Is it though? My car's speed is 50. Wait, what? Oh, print battery level. So we're gonna print the speed and the battery? My car, print car speed. Moving at. Speed is 50. Cool. Next up, battery level. It's 75, so we say battery 75. It's pretty easy, hopefully. Yeah. Okay, now the cool thing about this is that we're gonna do some bullshit down here. And we can kind of look up here, I think, to see how it works. Hopefully. Can I type here? Okay. The audio stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. That's not true, because if I'm making noise right now, listen, I'm making noise right now, then I'm going to unmute the stream right here, and it's going to be making noise. Or first. Literally, it's because I have this, if it's not making enough noise, like in Discord, it has like you have to hit a certain level of noise for it to go through, so it cancels out all the background noise. But it says there's no fucking noise going through, bro. Fuck you. Beta. So what are we doing? Course student's last name to Smith. He's 20, and he has 9999 as his ID number. So this is student data. Course student uses the class student data. And there's something for... Fuck. Okay, wait, how do you call this stuff? Do you have to do dot? So like course student dot... Yeah. Let's try this. Course student dot set ID. Oh, there's more up here. Fuck. All right, let's do the first one. Hold on. Set name, set age. Okay. Set name. Do we need parentheses? I think we do. Yep. And then we need whatever we want inside of that. What does it want? Smith? Is this how I do it? Dot set, is it age or something? Set age. Number of years. You can just use a 20, right? Set, what is the last one? Set ID. Oh, wait, so we have person data and then student data. Okay. What does it want? 99. Yeah. Will that work? Fuck. Fuck you. Oh, string Smith? Here. Yeah. Yeah, check that shit out. That's fucking awesome. Oh, it's literally just one test. I didn't even have to type a bunch of bullshit. Cool. Shut up. What was that? Inheritance? How is this? I feel like this would be 50%, but I guess it's not grading that. It's grading like the amount of activities in one thing. So this one probably only has like 1 or 2 fucking challenge activities, I guess. Overriding class methods. Am I gonna know how to do this? Print all. But don't I need a bunch of other shit in here? Print all what? Name, age, ID? The base class has a print all method? Why the fuck don't you just use that? Okay, wait. We need to just read like a little bit about this, I think. Overrides the method of the base class. Oh. So it just has the same name and it overrides this one. But the difference is that when you override, hopefully when you override it, it's like you're doing something different about it. Because look, this is the item and the produce. And with any item, you display the name and the quantity, but with produce, you also need the expiration date. So it's the same name and it has the quantity and item, or the name and the quantity, and then also the expiration. Crazy. So then that's probably what it wants me to do, is redefine this thing. Because this has a print all using only self. I don't know how this shit works. We can just copy this though and like... And then we also want print f ID. Fuck you, I hate my nose. And then what's the ID? Pet underscore ID. Please fuck off. Jesus. Does that work? Bro, fuck you. Okay. What do you mean? Oh, self.petID, right? Oh my god. What do you mean? Pet object. I guess. I don't fucking know. Yeah, no shit, dude. Self.id num. Thank you. And that's the only one. Each of those only had one test. Okay. Kill yourself. Kill yourself. I was gonna be front row. Fix this shit. Fix this shit. Fix this shit. Barbershop near me. I don't want to go to a fucking barbershop. Cut that shit at home. Oh, switch here. Womp, womp, womp. Womp, 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 womp. Uh-oh, uh-oh. I lost my ticket to go to the gun show. What? The stock market added over 3.5 trillion today alone. Okay, what is actually happening? Because something I heard to watch out for is... Like, it doesn't... I don't know exactly how much everything went down. But if the stock market went down by like 5 trillion... and then it went up by 3.5 trillion, that doesn't fucking matter because it's still down. So, I actually haven't been paying attention to this. Can we like look at some of this shit? S&P 500. The last 5 days? Look, oh, it's up! It's up, guys! But, it had a huge fucking dip, didn't it? Is this the dip or is it this one? I think it might be this one. Yeah. Uh-oh. Can we look at this? If we look at 1 month, yeah, this is where the huge dip occurs, and it's like, whoa, dude, it went up, look at how much it went up, but it's still, wait, this is literally what's happening, it's literally still lower, you know, like, oh, wow, it went up in this, what is this, 1 day? Yeah, it went up from the 8th to the 9th, but it's still lower than it was before the motherfucker put in all these tariffs. That's exactly what's fucking happening. I don't know any of these other ones. What's the NASDAQ composite? Is it probably the exact same? Yeah. That's so stupid. I don't know the Russell 2000. Exact same, though. Crazy. It's almost as if he knew what he was doing. And people fearmongered for no reason. It's goes down 5 trillion and then back up 3.5 trillion, then it's still down, motherfucker. I mean, it's simple enough, I don't know. No. I don't even know, is this true? Because, like, they'll just say, like, oh, whatever, money's going down, still defend it. But then as soon as it goes back up, I don't know. That's not even the issue. The issue is that it's not up. Like, he still tanked that shit all the way down, and then it went up a little bit after that. I just don't understand. And shit's still gonna be, like, expensive. Tariffs worked? Okay, dude. I can't be on... You can't be on Twitter. Why would you ever go on here? It's so dumb. Lists and dictionary. Yo, Slim. Your last 4 albums sucked. Go back to recovery. Oh, shoot. That was 3 albums ago. What do you know? Oops. Know your facts before you come at me, little goof. Convert to list. Input list. Print input list. So what happens here? What up, Dr. Pickle Rick? What's going on? Oh, is this supposed to be numbers? I don't actually know what we're doing. Oh. But like 1. Okay, fuck. Literally, fuck you. Is that... Alright, so we got a list, and it splits it at the spaces. This can't be that hard. I just need to find the specific stuff in the list. The max and average with 2 digits after the decimal point. What is this? What is this a part of? Lists and dictionaries? Okay. This is just list stuff. I just have to like go through lists, right? Then we're gonna do another one in for n in input list. Do I need that? I don't need that. So we're gonna go through every number. If n is greater than 0 or n is greater than n? Oh, max. So will that actually work? N equals 0. Can I put 0.0? I don't know. So this is going to get the max. Print max. So check it out. If I do 1, 5, 2, 7, 3, give me 7. Oh. Give me 7. Built-in function max? Wait, that's a real... What? Built-in function max Python. Is that a thing? The max function. Well, then why don't you just fucking do that? Print max of the input list. Can we do that? Bro! Okay, I didn't even know that existed. That's easy. Then what else? The average? Is there an average function? Built-in average function Python. Oh no, you needed a module. So we will actually calculate the average. But that can be kind of hard, or it can be kind of easy. Because we can just use built-in functions for all this. I think. Like, there must be something for adding everything in the list. How to add all components of list Python. Oh, sum. The sum function. You see there's built-in functions for like fucking everything. Sum. Input list. And then we can just divide it by length. Input list. Right? Average equals. So all of these divided by the amount of things in it. Print average. And does it automatically do it as a float? I think they have to be floats. Do they? Okay, if I turn this in, will it work? Is it gonna fuck me because I don't have a integer? Invalid literal for integer with base 10. What? What? Why is there an integer? Just do float. Did I put that there? Try that. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so we need... some extra bullshit. End equals... Or actually just... Give me the fucking thing. It's like colon... Oh my god. How to print... What is this thing? Average colon 2f. Which one didn't do it? The max. Where do I put this? At the end of this, or... Oh my god, I hate this so much. Look, it just fucked it up even more. I don't have a line 50. That's why I say this shit is fucked. Okay, so we cannot use this. But that's where I need it. All of these are errors. Okay, I'm not allowed to use this. I don't understand how the fuck I'm supposed to do this. What numbers do they use? 14.25, 25, 25, 0, and 5.75. Do not. Do you see how it fucking works perfectly here? The only problem, if we submit this, the only problem is that it's not displaying an extra 0. Look, it literally makes it fine. So what? Okay, we're gonna try something else, I guess. I don't even want this. With the... Okay, so if this doesn't work, then I'm gonna blow up this whole entire plane. It has to work. Yeah. Kill yourself. Dictionary. Uh-oh, uh-oh. I lost my ticket to go to the gun show. Okay, maybe we'll do like one more. I hate this shit so much. There's just too much work to do. Module 6 lab is, does it work? Yes. So maybe we should do a functions one. These are, I was thinking like, oh, I should really do these challenge activities, but they're fucking useless to do because they don't count in my gradebook. Even though they're supposed to. The guy didn't set it up right or something. Okay. A pedometer? What the fuck is that? It's a step counter, obvious fuckingly. So we just divide some shit. Feet divided by 2.5. I hate how this is set up. Define what? Feet to steps? Feet to steps with what? But we need an input, right? User feet. Oh. Input feet. Smile. Me when I input feet. I won't lie, this is definitely me when I input feet. So we take, it's supposed to be simple, right? We just take steps, user steps equals user feet divided by 2.5, right? And then we just need user feet equals float input. And then we call this, oh, we need to return user steps. So can we just print feet to steps using user feet? And it'll just return whatever's on there. So what does it want? 150.5. 150.5. Wait. Oh, this needs to be an integer. So can I just put it here? Return the integer version of that. 150.5. Alright, we're gonna try this. It should work. It's pretty simple. There's always something that goes wrong now. Watch. Fuck you. Alright, it did work though. That one is really easy, actually. Convert to binary. What the fuck? What? Get the binary string of an integer in a reverse order. For what? What kind of fucking goose chase is this? Okay, let's just try this. Define int to reverse binary using integer value. And then we're going to write one more. Define string reverse using input string. Okay. And what do these do? So it basically gives me like most of it right here. Can I just... Okay, wait. Okay, we're just gonna retype this because that's obviously not correct. If what? If integer value is greater than 0, then okay, so do I print it? Do I return it? Or do I append it to like a string or a list? What, cat? Is this supposed to be the input string? So if the input is 6, and the output is this, which is like, wait, let's actually look at this in binary, as far as I know. So this one is either, is it 0 or 1? And then this one is, oh, it's times 2 for each one. So this is 2 or 3. So it's 3. Is that true? Fuck, I forgot how to do it. Okay, this represents a 1, 2, and a 4. Okay, so 2 plus 4 is 6. Okay. And then if that was on, it would be a 7. Okay, I understand. I remember. 0 or 1, 2, 4, 8, it doubles. Well, shit. What is the input string? Append string Python. Or can you not do that? You need a concatenation. We'll do, I guess, input string. Okay, first, let's define an input string. Input string equals just that. It's an empty string. Plus string Fuck. I'm so frustrated. I probably can't even fucking define a variable inside of a loop. Oh my god, this is not gonna work. There's no way I can just output it. We need a string of this operation. Integer value modulo 2. What do you want? Fuck off. The string version of that, and that's going to add it to the input string. And then we take the integer value and we floor divided by 2. Right? Why do you floor divide it? I don't know. Oh, because this already took the remainder. Maybe, I don't know. I have no fucking idea. I have no fucking idea. And we also don't need a huge amount of indents right there. So it's going to go through this whole thing until the integer value is 0. And then we want to return the input string. Integer value equals, does it have to be an integer? I feel like this is not going to work. I don't know. I know. Fuck off, dude. That's just the input. So then we call int to reverse binary with the integer value. Do we print that? No, we print input string equals whatever this returns. And then we're going to print string reverse with the input string. I just have to define this. How do we reverse a fucking... How to reverse a string Python? Is there not a built-in function for it? I've already looked this up. Oh. Yeah, it's... Okay, you slice it. Slice it backwards. So it's going to print it backwards. Thank you. Okay. So... There's like a bunch of different arguments or something here. There's something that the middle one means, something that the... I mean, the first one, the middle one, and this last one is like telling it to work backwards. What if you give it a 0? That would be weird. So then, what are we doing? Are we just returning input string sliced backwards? Is that how you do it? Look, let's just try this. So what's the input is 6. And it should return 110. Okay, I already gave you some input, so why would you ask again? Seriously? What is wrong with it? Are you kidding? What's wrong with it? It's fucked up. What the fuck is wrong with it? It can't be stuck here. Look, you give it the integer value. First it defines all of this. Then you give it the integer value with the input. That's what this was supposed to be. It's stuck in like a big loop or something. But like, how can it get stuck there? Because look, we're taking the input string and we call this function and we use what they just gave. How could this happen? Because it's supposed to... It can't infinitely be here because this only runs while the integer value is greater than 0. And it is constantly shrinking while this loop is going. One floor divide. What the fuck is wrong with it? What the fuck is wrong with it? What the fuck is wrong with you? I literally don't understand. Look, this is the... It's supposed to stop right there. Why is it even asking for more inputs? Shh. I don't understand. Garbage, shit, stain. Garbage, shit, stain. Open it up. How is this happening? What is running? The only thing that's in an infinite loop here is this shit. Why the fuck is this in an infinite loop? Because it literally divides, part of the loop is that it divides the integer like into smaller and smaller pieces. It should reach 0. No, fuck you. I'm telling it. Okay, stop. I figured it out. Integer value is equal to integer value divided by 2. So now, thank fucking God it works. Yeah, okay. This has to work now. Check it out. Bro, let me type. Okay, I can't even tell if it's fucking working, bro. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm triggered. Please kill yourself. I'm so done with this. That really took 15 minutes? Bro, I thought this was gonna be like quick and easy. Half of it was just trying to figure out why this didn't work. That's why I had to print this. I was like, what is even happening? Alright, that's cool. Often in the morning, I will eat nothing and then I'll drink my dad's insane fucking coffee that's way too strong. And he still drinks it black. So now I feel sick as fuck. This happens every morning. And it's especially bad when I go into work. And I feel sick as fuck at work. I don't know if eating anything would help. I don't know what to eat. Should we work on Half-Life 2? Shut the fuck up. I've got to be close to beating it, right? I don't know. We'll work on it. It's a fun game. See if anything crazy is going on. I was seriously about to send that code to Billy and be like, why the fuck is this in an infinite loop? And he would have thought I was the dumbest motherfucker in the world. That's so funny. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just fucking go, I guess. Yep, we're going down here. Y'all got that med kit? No? Excuse me. What are we doing right now? We're trying to we're trying to go into the Combine area and shut their shit down, I think.
Since you shut off the suppressor and opened the gate, we can really move people through now. The Combine's gonna feel the squeeze. We dropped a crate of rockets coming across the plaza. If you can make it there, you should have everything you need to take down these Striders.
Striders?
Come on, Freeman. Freeman. Yes, sorry, Doc.
Where the fuck is the actual doc? I need healing. Did I really shut that thing down? I can just walk around here now? Oh, that guy. Oh. Well, can we just shoot him? I don't know if we can just shoot him. Also, this is so loud. I need to look at the audio for a second. Hold up. I'm talking. I am louder than the game. This game is just so loud, so I'm gonna turn this down on my headphones. Because I don't want to fuck up the stream. What are we doing here? Okay, we can't fight. We can't fight them! What are we supposed to do?
Sorry, Doc.
Please don't shoot me. Hey, it's Freeman. Got him. Oh. I was hoping he had a med kit. So is there like some rockets or something that I can use? I'm so confused right now. Am I just gonna continue running? I guess. What am I doing here? Are we really just supposed to kill them with some rockets? I feel like the rockets don't do anything to them. Like, seriously, what does it do? I'm serious, it doesn't do fucking anything. There needs to be like an infinite rocket supply somewhere. Do we have to kill their feet? I literally don't even know. I'm out of... oh my god. No more shooting, no more shooting. We should put this door back. I seriously don't know how I'm supposed to kill these guys. Like, it seems to be hurting them, but... is it actually gonna kill them? Like, you hear them, they're like pissed off about it. How many rockets does it take? No shooting, no shooting me. Okay, here's rockets. Bro. Just kill him. Oh, he died. Oh, thank God. I thought they actually couldn't die. So we can just keep blowing them up. Who else is shooting rockets? Okay, now we have to get to that other one. But I don't have any HP. There's enough. How? Do they just keep respawning? I'm really pissed off. Bro. Okay. This one will die very soon. Oh, and I'm just gonna run this way. Why are you shooting through the glass? I didn't know you could do that. Is he dead? Yeah. But then another one spawns, so I'm just like, how fucking long am I gonna fight these morons? pisses me off. There's bad guys over there. Don't shoot me. If he shoots me like once, I'm dead. When will he die? Okay. Wait. Fuck you. There's another one coming. He's over there. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Oh, yes. I need to be here. This is where I need to be. Okay, they have rockets there. Bro, just hit him. Just fucking hit him. Thank you. Oh, fuck that. I feel like I'm attacking a different one now. Okay, that one's dead. We're gonna run over there. Fuck. Okay. Please stop shooting me. I'm gonna die here. Oh, please. Oh, please leave me the fuck alone. Thank you. Now we just need to start blowing these fools up. No, he can see me right here. When will he die? Okay, he's dead, thank you. I can't, you can't. There's no cover. shit. The fuck was that? Bro. At least you have more cover. Kill yourself. Will these striders actually just keep coming? Like forever? Where is he? You must die. You must die! Actually, fuck off. Trying to shoot at anything else. No, 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 no. Seriously? How can you even see me? I love fully exposing myself for like 12 fucking seconds while the rocket tries to figure out where the fuck it is. Nice, or just rewind it like 10 fucking minutes. That's awesome. So you can kill them with it, but it's so fucking hard. And they do so much damage. Nice. There's still gonna be like 10 more though. Fuck that. Will you just die? Look, they just keep rolling them out. Like, where do we go from here? By the way, save this fucking game. There's no fucking way we're reverting all of our progress here. Can I just go into where they are? Okay, is this where we go? I think it is. Good. Or is this just... Okay, good. Save here instead. Nice. It probably auto-saved anyway. So are we going that way? Nice. Oh fuck. No! Bruh. You wanna fuck off? I really want to grab a grenade and throw it back at them. Fuck you. Are they all dead? Holy shit. Are these things I can use? Or are they just debris? I'm scared, I'm scared. Well, where do I go? Wait, can I grab these? I can. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to grab that shit. Or maybe just keep running. Oh my god. Okay. rockets. Do I have to actually fight them, or can I just run away? What was that? Yeah, I think we're just going through here. Hello.
Dr. Freeman! It's a mess out there. This close to the Citadel, they've turned the streets over to Striders. I think we can push them back if we can just get to high ground. We're almost to the Citadel wall, Doc. I don't know how the hell we're gonna breach it, but you've made it this far. I'm sure you'll think of something.
I won't. We're all gonna die. The horse? What do you mean? Wait. Okay. Fuck you guys. Not working very well. Literally, my entire team just died. Bruh. Please shut up, cat. So how can we all not die here? Maybe don't run out into them, that's a good idea. He's just gonna kill all of us, honestly. I blast this shit on him. Does that actually hurt them? Give me the fucking... Okay, the medic fucking died, of all people. It takes like 6 fucking rockets or some shit to kill him. Maybe I'll just run, like, away from him, and they're all gonna die here, so... Sucks to suck? I don't fucking know. Waiting? There's one more, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna fucking run. And hopefully not die, but... Just gonna fucking do it every single day. Every single day. They all die, there's nothing I can do to help you, I'm sorry. At least the medic's here. Heal me. Thank you. So where do we go next? shit. Okay, real quick. I'm gonna try to go this way. I can't. Oh, we can go under here. Wait, we could just run under there. Okay. Should we wait for him to turn then? Okay, good. Look out, Freeman. No, 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 no. There's like a billion of these fucking guys everywhere. Oh my god, bro. We're so dead. Yo, hang out in here. Okay, you're all dead. Never mind. I'm stuck. You need to move. I don't want to kill him. What is happening? What is happening? What is happening? I'm stuck, bro. What the? Kill yourself. Okay, fine. This isn't that bad. You gotta stay here, bro. What are you supposed to do about that? I didn't even know they could fucking do that. Do you see this shit? Oh. So where are we supposed to go from here? Oh, they blew this up. Bro, how long are we fighting this shit? There's like some real war zone. There's lots of munitions. Bro, I don't know where to go after this though. Oh. Fuck. Are we just supposed to kill all of them? Where are they? Kill yourself.
Wait for me, Dr. Freeman. I'll come with you.
Okay, I don't know. They're constantly shooting at me. Can't see him. There. Oh, I don't have him. This isn't fucking possible. The rockets are out here in the middle of fucking nowhere where I can just get hit by everyone. And there's people shooting from fucking everywhere. And I can't even kill them as they respawn. I'm gonna die anyway. Bro, fuck this game. Okay, actually, fuck off. We're going to Minecraft. Way easier. I'll be right back. Meow. Wow. That's disgusting. Fuck off. Fuck off. There's some shit on my glasses. I have to clean them. There's some shit on my forehead. Too much hair. I don't know what I'm doing in this game. I'm gonna move this here. Wow, that's garbage. It's a weird spot for me to put it. Minecraft is not the same kind of game. Honestly, any of these games are not the same kind of game where I'm like talking about what I'm doing. I need like some other shit. I wish some of my friends were on. I'd be talking to them. They're always on at night though, when I'm trying to fucking sleep. That's top tier baloney, if you ask me. Next level baloney. Oh, I wanted to watch... What time is it? Okay. Convo with Warren Smith on transports and objective truth.
Think your taxes are simple? You could...
Please shut up.
More people qualify for...
Please shut up.
So for trans women competing with cis in sports.
That's the only intro, okay.
Good, how are you?
I'm great. Okay, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You can start.
So this is the guy, he was part of Destiny's January 6th focus group where he like tested his like January 6th talking points on like some random like decently neutral YouTubers like Turkey Tom, the Warren Smith guy. And then another thing about the Warren Smith guy is I think he was like a teacher that got fired or something, or he lost his job because there was a viral video of him like critically analyzing if the was it the Harry Potter lady was like racist or transphobic or something. And he was like, well, I don't remember exactly what it was, but he's supposed to be like a critical thinker and got fucking canceled for having his own opinion or something. But then he said some other dumb shit about like, I mean, the one thing I remember that he said recently was something about objective truth. He was trying to say that there's like an objective truth that we can go by, but Destiny's big point was that we can't really do that, basically. We'll see.
Okay. Okay. I'm a college dropout. Okay, I've never taken
Nerd.
any formal philosophy.
Loser,
so
not a
I'm
nerd.
not trying to lil bro or be an asshole. I'm just curious. Do you have any formal philosophy background at all?
Not in graduate school. There's required like media studies, and then they examine it through the lens of philosophers, but I wouldn't say I was specializing in philosophy.
Okay, cool. Just checking. All right. Okay. The one issue that I run into sometimes when I see people talk about certain issues is there's a phrase that will get tossed around sometimes, and it's this phrase, objective truth or objective scientific truth. And I feel like when people utter this phrase, the phrase is a lot stronger, I think, epistemically than some people realize, as in there's a lot of stuff being asserted there, and you don't need to assert that much stuff to have a particular argument. And I think that the ground that somebody is standing on is a lot less firm than they think when they assert that. And sometimes I feel like people will assert things and they'll call them like objective truths as a way to kind of like axiomatically brush over where legitimate disagreement can exist. As then somebody will say like, oh, well, I believe A, and someone will say, I believe B, and someone will go, well, actually, A is objective truth. And I was like, oh, well, in that case, I guess if you've defined it as such, then I guess it's over. And I guess that's my main frustration with phrases like when people bring up like objective truth, basically. And then we can branch off from there or launch from there, or you can say something if you want, yeah.
No, I think that's fair. I don't disagree with any of that. And I think when I made that first kind of analysis of one of your responses, that's what intrigued me, was the pattern that I'm seeing, not necessarily with you, but with a lot of people that we're encountering today, where one person in the debate is making the claim that the fabric of reality, which is what I'm referring to with objective truth, we'll get into that with biological truth and all that, but either being malleable or not existing. And there's a deeper kind of concern around that. So that's kind of what the lens I've been looking at it through, but keep going. Yeah, I don't disagree with anything you said yet.
Sure. Okay, and then I agree that that's a thing that is concerning to a lot of people. That I think that when the obvious example, you've seen like The Matrix, right? Mm-hmm. That if you think that you're on very firm ground when it comes to reality, and then somebody challenges something that you'd consider like this is like beyond reproach. You can't challenge this thing, right? Like, is my whole world a fabrication that robots are putting in front of me, right? That kind of thing is deeply troublesome, and it makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Now, obviously, I would make the argument that in some cases it's good to make those challenges because it shows you that, when I say you, I don't mean you, it shows a person that, oh, well, actually, this is a thing that you're taking for granted, and it could be a different way, which is always good to be aware of. And then in other ways, there are probably bad challenges here that people are doing for more heinous reasons, either intellectually dishonest ones that are just leading to, you could say, sophistry, like bad philosophical arguments, or they're doing it for political reasons because they just want to make certain political arguments. So an example of both might be, I'm not trying to politically charge anything one way or another, but somebody might say something like, oh, I think the Nazis were just pure evil. And somebody else might say, well, actually, the Nazis were normal humans like you and me, and it's good to understand what it would take to make somebody think something like that. Like, that would be kind of like challenging some notion that somebody has, where like, well, I could never be this thing. And it's like, well, maybe you could be. You could be a slave owner, you could have been a Nazi, you could have been who knows, right? That's a good challenge. And then maybe like a bad fact might be somebody saying like, oh, well, gay men are just like always going to be child molesters. And it's like, well, that fact, I don't know if that's so much as rooted as any sort of real observation or any sort of like,
what the fuck was wrong with the audio?
More than it's just somebody's putting this forward because they obviously don't like gay people and they just want to be, you know, anti-gay for whatever reason. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree, because that's what's going to occur if we accept that whatever objective truth is beyond our reach. It's what we're striving for through science or objective understanding. It's not, we don't necessarily have it, but it is there regardless. It's what we're trying to map onto through knowledge. So there's definitely going to be the improvement of how we map onto that. So there's always room for a conversation. But that's different than sometimes when I'm encountering like Thaddeus Russell. I was messaging, I was like, that's the one that interests me the most because he does that so hardcore, where it's not just, it's dismissing the idea that there is an objective truth even beyond our reach. If that makes sense.
Sure, yeah. Okay, so do you want to get into a particular, I guess, which...
I think the problem with that is that I think it's kind of true, is that there seems to be some actual real thing going on in the world. It's just that from our perspective, I don't think there's any way you can, like... You always have to make some assumptions to get there. You can't ever, like, 100% be tuned into that, but I don't know. I think you can agree with most of this stuff. I want to see, like, where they're kind of... where they might heavily disagree or something.
What was the name you just referenced there, or what?
Thaddeus Russell. I did a video with him.
I don't know this fucking nerd.
I want to. I mean, we could dive into that. Let's keep going with this though, and kind of like consolidate whatever disagreement we have around that last video. That seems to be grounded in what we're talking about.
Sure. So, so I guess broadly speaking, there obviously this huge meme question. It was a meme online for a while, and then the Daily Wire did a thing off of it. The "what is a woman" thing. I think that when you're looking at gender or sex, and you're looking for the contents of what those ideas are, I think when you talk about like ontology or like categories and the information, the content that they have, I think there's actually a ton of really fascinating questions that you can ask about like what a particular thing is. So an example
And then
of
it's
that might
different.
be
Oh
a
my
long
god,
time
shut the
ago,
fuck up.
there was
I don't know why my pause doesn't work, but like I said, there's probably an objective reality that we can't really access. But you're talking about a totally different thing when you're talking about like social constructs, and I feel like the what is a woman thing has a lot to do with that. It's like a lot of it is a social construct, but yeah.
a lake, and that lake contained something called water, and people had an understanding of what water was, of some properties of it, of some things you could do with it, that you needed it for nourishment, obviously. Well, now in the future, we might refer to water as H2O. We have a chemical formula for it. When we say water today, and we're knowingly referring to H2O, in the past, when we said water, and we were referring to a thing that might not have always been pure H2O, and we had no understanding of atomic physics or anything like that at all, or chemistry or anything like that at all, are we referring to the same thing, or are we referring to different abstractions of a thing? I think that's a deeply interesting question. It gets into some like really interesting areas of ontology or metaphysics, and I think that when it comes to gender and sex, I think that similar questions can be asked, such as like when you say like a man or a woman and you define it by like chromosomes or whatever, that could be a way that you define it. But if you go back 1,000 years, nobody knew what a chromosome was, but we still had this identity of like man and woman. And so are we referring to the same thing? Were we just slightly less correct before, and now we're more correct, or have we refined our definition in a way that's changed it? Yeah, I don't know. I think all these things are worth discussing. I think there's two huge issues sometimes that pops up. One is I think that there are people that confuse, and I feel like I think I would probably charge you with this. I think
Charge
people
you.
will view something as being a social construct, or people will view something as being like a human-created, mind-dependent category, and they'll confuse that with it being arbitrary or worthless, just like whatever.
That's true too.
So like I would argue, for instance, that like the universal category of sex, that is a mind-dependent thing, that if every human being were wiped out on the planet, the category of sex wouldn't exist, but the underlying content of it would still exist. So you'd still have like things that we call males, things that we call females, like you'd still have dicks and vaginas and things that reproduce in a certain way. Yeah.
Well,
Although I will say, just as a real quick, as a real quick thing on the second thing, there are people though, they're not as common anymore, but there are people who do use it in an arbitrary manner, where they'll say something like, oh, well, a man or a woman can be literally anything. Or like the entire concept of, for instance, of self-ID, you are what you identify as, is literally self-defeating and stupid, because then anybody could be anything and stuff. So there are some people that use it in a bad way, but then I think sometimes the response to that is a little bit too aggressive in the other direction, I guess.
Yeah, this is the semantic level of how we're mapping onto that objective truth. So you're absolutely right that language is a social construct. It's how we are, what we've agreed upon to reflect that objective truth, which requires that objective truth to exist. So yeah, we could, the argument that, well, woman, it's a term we made up, okay, but the underlying what we're mapping onto, which is what we refer to as the biological, when we say the biological truth of what we agreed upon, that what does that represent? It's biologically. So
I don't think I necessarily disagree with that per se. I think it only bothers me. I guess I'm kind of repeating myself. Is that whenever somebody entertains this conversation, it feels like sometimes there's a group of people that think they can shut it down very quickly and easily by saying something like the most common thing I hear is when somebody's like, oh, what is a woman? Somebody says, oh, well, it's an adult human female. And it's like, okay, well, if you're using female to define woman, I feel like we're in the land of tautology at this point. Like, you're defining a thing with a synonym. It doesn't seem like it's doing a very good job at that. not to say that like, well, a woman or a man could be anything. I feel like sometimes it's a shortcut. And then when I see certain people discussing a topic, it feels like the topic is being held hostage by politics or social prescription rather than under kind of like underlying, I guess, analysis or understanding of any kind of truthful statement, I guess. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Sure, there's definitely the potential for that. I'm trying to think the example. I was trying to remember the example that you used in that conversation with the we're disproving the rule because there's an exception.
Oh, I don't believe that. I think that's really dumb. I don't.
Okay.
Oh no, wait. Oh wait, I don't think so. I'm sorry. So there's a smaller kid there who I think was literally 16. I don't buy into all of his ideas. So some rules can be disproven by exceptions, and other rules, an exception never proves a rule. I don't know where that idea came from, unless there's some logic that I'm unfamiliar with. But there can be some rules that can be disproven by exceptions. And I think that kid might have given an example of one. So if I say, for instance, we're working in a binary system and I see the number 2 pop up, well, we're not in binary anymore. Something else must be happening, right? So that would break that rule.
Yeah, that's a more accurate analogy than what he was saying. So like if we were to say human beings are born with 5 fingers, well, some people are born without 5 fingers, but biologically speaking, is it accurate? Is it valid to say human beings have 5 fingers, even though there's not the potential for that? The other one that you used that was interesting was if a woman has spikes on her hand. I get the analogy there, but it's still, that analogy is claiming that, okay, we can use common sense to dissect these social conversations, but the problem is that the analogy is that these biological spikes are what's causing the unfair. It's so common sense. We could see these spikes would make it so that it wouldn't be fair for them to compete, but that's mapping onto what immutable characteristics born through biology still. So still going back to biology.
Yeah, it is. I just think it's good to analyze sometimes, like when we look at women's sports, like what's the point of the category? It seems like the point of the category is that there is a group of people that we want to have athletic representation for, and therefore we've created this category called women's sports. We do it for small people as well. It's called weight classes, right? So we have like different, and there's different types of like fighting and everything depending on the weight class, but like we have weight classes as well to protect certain heights of people or body builds or weights of people as well. And I think the issue that I come into a lot when it comes to, I'll warn you that I'm probably an outsider here, so I don't think any other progressive would ever say this, because for whatever fucking reason. So personally, I don't think it matters about the quote-unquote fairness in terms of should trans people be allowed to compete in a sport. I think it's more just like, well, we have to analyze why the category is created, and would letting a trans person compete in the category like destroy the reason for that category. And so in my opinion, the answer is yes. If you have a category created to protect cisgender women who wouldn't be able to compete with somebody with a I guess male biology, then allowing trans women to compete there seems to break that, the same way that a woman with spikes for hands would probably break that. So you probably just wouldn't have that person competing because it would break the category. But like my analysis can start and stop there without me having to moralize, like, am I attacking all of like biology or my fundamental understanding of the universe or anything like that. That's what I meant when I said like we can engage in the analysis and do like I think like a good faith pursuit of these underlying categories without having to like morally load or normatively load every single statement we make. I think, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair. The challenge, it's a bit more complicated, I think, because we can't necessarily identify why the classifications exist. It's also for the sake of the competition. So boxing, they divide men into different weight classes, safety. There's going to be multiple reasons, so it doesn't reduce down to a singular reason. That would be my only response to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I agree. There's going to be a multiple amount of reasons, but it's important to understand what those reasons are, because none of those reasons have anything to do with self-ID. Like none of those reasons have anything.
But regardless of those reasons, we can still, even if the change introduces safety hazards, even if that doesn't correlate to, we were separating them by weight class for the sake of competition as well. if we're suddenly introducing this complication, I don't think it necessarily has to map onto the category. We could recognize, like, which with your spike analogy.
Yeah, no, yeah, I was agreeing with you. I'm saying that, like, if we say that we've created this category for women, we didn't create it just to have it so that whatever IDs as a woman is suddenly allowed to compete, right? It's like that, like have you ever seen the movie Air Bud?
A long time ago.
Like a dog can't play basketball. You couldn't put like a zebra in the court and be like, oh, well, look, the zebra identifies as a woman, so now they can play, right? Obviously, this breaks. This is dumb.
Right.
So, yeah, I think understanding why where the categories are from, why they're created, and what it works as. And we can think of, like, real-life things, too, even. Like, I'm sure there's, like, a disease that causes you to mature incredibly fast. We probably wouldn't let this person compete in, like, grade school or high school sports either. If it was a 9-year-old with the physiology of, like, an 18-year-old, we would say this is not. Or if you get held back, 5 years, we're not going to have a 19-year-old dunking on 13 or 14-year-olds,
Sure.
That's fucking awesome.
I don't see a problem with that.
Okay. Yeah. Wait, what else? Did you have any other things in particular, or?
It's gonna be a 10-minute conversation.
I didn't see I know you did some response video. I haven't seen it. So if there's anything in there that you think I misrepresented or I oversimplified.
I'm curious, when you say, like, objective scientific truth, can you describe, like, give me some understanding of what you mean when you say that statement?
Yeah, it's that separate from us that we're striving for, that exists independent of any social construct. It's what we would say science, mathematics is trying to understand. Simple as that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay. I'll rephrase it slightly, and I think we're on the same page, so we can say some things are, like, mind dependent, like Harry Potter doesn't exist if all humans are dead, right? And then there are some things that are probably going to exist, hopefully, even if every single human is wiped out. So, like, a book with Harry Potter, the story in it, or a book that will exist even if every human being is wiped out. There's some underlying matter there that exists regardless of any humans to observe it or organize it, right?
Right. Someone left an interesting comment on that video claiming that when you say truth, you're talking it's more semantic in exchanges, and they use the example of, if we're playing catch, is it true to say that they're throwing the ball back and forth and they're playing catch? And the problem I think we run into is that we've seen debates. Sam Harris, Jordan Peterson debated just the word truth for like 2 hours. So to simplify that down, because an arrow can fly true, a statement can be true, but so when we're talking about objective truth, I think we're getting closer to, like, biological truth. So the problem is, this gets into a semantic conversation, but as long as we kind of understand what we're laying out here.
Yeah, so I would argue that philosophy and psychology run into this issue where they use a lot of the same words that we use in common parlance. A really great example of this is, like, depression, right? Like, having major depressive disorder is significantly different than just feeling depressed. Or a true statement is a lot different than in epistemology, like having a theory of truth, like justified true belief or some other kind of, like, theory of truth. So I think the semantic part is important to declare the boundaries of, like, what is the conversation about,
Yeah, I would say that in that example, I don't think that would be objectively true, saying this psychological condition is worse, because to some people it might be worse, it might not be. It might be a valid statement. So that video with the student with J.K. Rowling, I wouldn't even claim that it's true that J.K. Rowling is not transphobic. It's more, is that a valid conclusion based upon the evidence that you can provide? But it's not objectively true because I can't account for everything that she's said. Does that make sense?
It's kind of true. True. So I think the issue there, like, there are different types of truths that we can talk about.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, it's kind of funny when you talk about, like, defamation law and everything. You get into some of this as well, right? If I say like Warren punched me in the face, like that's a statement that you could take me to court for if you hadn't punched me in the face, because I'm defaming you, I'm lying. It's an actionable statement. It's something that clearly reduces to a true or false. It can be clearly observed in the universe. But if I were to say something like Warren is a huge, big, meanie asshole, right? You can never take me to court for that because it's an opinion, right? You can't prove that one way or another. I'm allowed to have that opinion. But I think there are different types of truths, and in 99% of human conversations, this doesn't matter because
Chicken
people
jockey.
will automatically intuit what the context is. But it gets harder when we start to bring in philosophy, because now we're, again, like I said, we're trying to invoke much firmer ground than what we're actually standing on. And sometimes these truths can be quite different from each other. So, for instance, when we say the difference between like a truth in physics or chemistry and a truth in math, I would say that these are significantly different types of truths. So, for instance, math is a system that is built on, if I say axiom, do you know what an axiom is? Basically,
premised within a logical argument.
kind of, yeah. An axiom is a statement. I wouldn't say necessarily premise, because a premise could be wrong, but in a way it is. Yeah, it's a statement that's asserted as true, and you can't attack it. You just start with that axiom, right? But starting with that axiom, and all of math, I think the current set of axioms, I think comes from its set theory. The abbreviation is ZFC. It's like Zermelo-Francus set theory or some bullshit. But all of math is constructed off of axioms. So when we say a mathematical statement is true or false, what we're really saying is it's true or false insofar as it comports with our mathematical axiomatic truths. Now,
Our knowledge.
yeah, well, I wouldn't even necessarily say knowledge. I would just say that if I construct a theory that says A equals 1 and B equals 2 and C equals 3, then if I say A plus B equals C, that's an objectively true, the strongest type of true statement that could ever be made. But does it say anything about reality? I mean, it could. I could try to make it say something about reality, but that statement is a lot different than saying that hydrogen is a single electron, proton, neutron atom or whatever, right? These are, I think they're getting at different types of things, yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, all that to say that when somebody says, so for instance, somebody is transphobic, especially when you're arguing with progressives, probably the more important thing there isn't to argue over the body of evidence or whatever, but it's usually to find out what does somebody mean when somebody says somebody is transphobic. Because for a lot of people, somebody will say, if you don't think that trans women and cis women can compete at every level of athletics together in all places, if you don't believe that, then you're transphobic. Well, in that case, then you probably agree with the person insofar as their definition is concerned. You're like, oh, okay, I guess J.K. Rowling is transphobic. There's probably a whole bunch of transphobic people. But then the argument there isn't over whether or not the person is transphobic. The argument should be over the definition of their word of transphobic, or whether or not they've defined it correctly, basically, yeah.
Yeah. In Aristotelian, what you're referring to sounds like Aristotelian logic, where a statement
Actually,
can be true, but the argument in which those statements occur, the axioms, are invalid. Which is, so you make an important point there. I get what you mean.
Mm-hmm. The only reason I bring this up again is because as soon as philosophy is invoked, we can get into areas where, because there are things that you say in your videos where if you were just using softer language, and I don't mean soft as in nice, but if you were to say something like, so for trans women competing with cis women in sports, you can have whatever social feeling you want about equity and inclusion and all of that, but that doesn't change the fact of the matter that a trans woman who's gone through a male puberty will always be conferred certain biological advantages. And that's that's going to be true almost universally no matter what. And that's a statement that is very, very, very hard to disagree with, almost impossible to disagree with. But
I think I said that.
Kind of, but there's a slight difference when you say something that you can't escape the biological truth that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. That's an objective scientific truth. When we say things like objective scientific truth, I think we're invoking huge bodies of philosophy. It's almost like importing a library. We're bringing in way more powerful statements. I think that's where I start to have an issue with it. And it might not be an issue for you only doing that, but then the issue will carry over to, let's say somebody's having a debate or an argument over, well, what is a man or what is a woman, or what defines the difference between these two. Well, somebody will take that same argument before and go, oh, well, it's objective scientific truth that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. It's like, well, hold on, you're just defining it with itself, and now we can't have that conversation because we've been so semantically kind of mixed up before.
Right, we're moving back into the semantics of it, but I would argue that doesn't reflect at all upon the objective truth itself, objective reality, which is what we're trying to map onto. And if you can provide a better mapping of how to map onto that, then go for it. But when we're talking about biology, something like Richard Dawkins, that is the best explanation we have been able to. I mean, that's the reason he describes the poetry of reality. That's what he's interested in through biology.
Yeah, and I would hope that most scientists are trying to model some aspect of reality. It's typically what we do with science, because the better we understand it, the better we can manipulate it. It's just frustrating when that vocabulary then gets weaponized in other areas where it might not necessarily be as important. So, for instance, men and women, or trans women and women, like, say, showering together or having some shared bathroom or whatever. Well, in this arena, it might be a different consideration that we make than we would make it like in an athletic arena, to where I would say that there are strong arguments in athletic arenas to not have trans women and cis women competing with each other. But I would say when it comes to bathrooms, I think there are strong arguments in exactly the opposite direction. They would probably be less like socially unnerving to have Blair White go into a woman's restroom, even though she's a trans woman, as opposed to having Buck Angel go into a woman's restroom, even though he's a trans man. Yeah. But if somebody were to invoke like the objective scientific truth semantic, and they were to bring that over to the bathroom one, well, now that conversation is being held hostage by the incredibly strong language used in the other argument. I guess is my issue. Yeah.
It could. And moving into that sort of debate, the problem I'm seeing, and I try and take it, the problem I'm seeing is that tomorrow, if I can decide that I'm a woman, and now, I guess it would be under the law, if I am now treated as a woman in all these spaces, because you're talking about differentiating bathroom spaces from the showering spaces or whatnot, the problem is that how are we going to approach that through a level of policy? Because where the rubber meets the road is the policy, which I would guess how we legally approach this. So if I tomorrow I'm a woman and now I have access to all these spaces, and you can't feel uncomfortable, you can't question that, you can't tell me to leave, and that's the problem that I haven't heard anyone address when I have these debates.
One issue that comes up when I'm hearing people talk about trans stuff is that people don't just decide to be like a woman or a man. Like, there's a lot of other stuff that goes along with it. Like, for example, you don't just wake up and decide to be a different gender. And, you know, if you did, it would usually be accompanied with, like, feelings that didn't just appear that day when you woke up. And there would also probably be a lot of, I think people would put a lot more effort into, like, making themselves appear as, like, whatever gender they're trying to like, feel that they are or whatever. They're not just gonna, like, be literally a guy with a beard is like, I'm a fucking woman today, and, like, rolls up in the women's sports and women's bathroom. I feel like that's a little bit crazy, but
yeah, I agree. I think that's a huge problem, but I think that I think it just has to start from a better, like, semantic ground where, like, everybody's using a very clear understanding of the words. And I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm literally permabanned from Twitch over trans-related sports stuff. So I mean, like, I'm obviously sympathetic towards these arguments here. It's just when we invent new things, or when we have more, like, fleshed out ways of understanding things, then our definitions just slightly change over time. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So, for instance, our definition of man or woman now is going to have more content than the definitions that people might have used a long time ago. For instance, we can identify things like chromosomes. We never could have identified those before. We can imagine a world, it might sound kind of silly, but, like, earlier we spoke about weight classes for boxing.
Use Kayak's Explore tool to see just how far your budget can take you.
shut the fuck
Regular?
up.
Spectacular.
We've got about 50
2
million
ads.
followers. We're in the billions of views, and we're a small team.
That's enough.
Right. Well, what happens if Elon Musk, gets everything he wants, and we actually do build a civilization on Mars, and on Mars, the gravity is, I think it's a little bit weaker than Earth, well, if we had boxers going between Mars and Earth, well, now when we talk about weight classes, we would have an extra qualifier. We'd say the weight class is this many pounds on Earth or this many pounds on Mars. We wouldn't be able to use the same weight class for both because it'd be slightly different depending on which planet they were on. It's kind of a goofy example, but like same thing when it comes to like bathrooms or locker rooms. Well, now if we're considering trans people, we just have to go back and understand, why do we have this category? Why do we have this separation? And is the separation still served by the two categories? So in the example of weight, having a 100 pound or 200 pound, like a 100 pound featherweight class, that's not served well if you can weigh different amounts on different planets, right? So we would have to clarify, well, hold on, we mean Earth weight versus Martian weight. And then same thing with the trans stuff. If we have like showers for trans women and cis women, well, are the bathrooms served well by having all women, including trans women there? Yeah, sure, they probably are. But what about like for sports? Here, probably not. So we do need the distinction of trans women versus cis women here, if that makes sense.
Makes sense to me. What do you
Yes, I
think?
mean, but when you're talking about how to organize sports on Mars, given the gravity difference, I think that's separate from the ramifications of, again, if tomorrow anyone can decide that they're a woman, there's no escaping that in the landscape that we're being presented right now. These problems are still going to occur. You could talk about how they're enforced around bathrooms as opposed to sports and everything, but that's not getting at I guess it's just a different way of viewing the issue.
Well, so like the argument that you just brought up there, in my opinion, so you didn't say anything about like objective scientific truth or anything like that, but without even saying that, I think that argument there you made was a very strong argument for why you can't have things like self-ID. It doesn't make sense to create a distinction if anybody can ID into the distinction. Like definitionally, that's stupid, right? Like if I say that, like, yeah, exactly. So like, I think that's a strong argument against self-ID inclusion in what is definitionally an exclusionary category. So if we have sports for cis women or sports for women, it wouldn't make sense to have sports for women as a protected category if anybody can ID as a woman. And I think that argument I think that on its own is a defeater for somebody simply saying that self-ID is a valid way to enter a woman's category of sports, right?
Sure, it might be a better way to argue the point, but it doesn't remove objective reality. Is my only point.
Yeah, I agree. But it's just I think the important thing is just identifying like what is the important, I guess, facet of objective reality that we're trying to talk about. And I don't think it has much to do with. I don't think it necessarily has to do. Let me think about this for a second.
Thinking?
The issue is that sometimes I think that arguments can be more complicated than they need to be, and I don't think we even have to invoke anything about objective reality, because the problem is the deeper you go epistemically, the more disagreements you could run into, but it's totally possible that there are disagreements that you never actually have to resolve because you can agree on some things otherwise, right? So like, for instance, people can be different religions, but believe like in different things about legal systems, right? Like I think it's immoral to, commit adultery, but I don't think it should be like illegal or something, right? You can have like that agreement, Okay, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Sure, but if I say tomorrow I've decided to be a woman, the response would be, well, okay, well, what do you mean? Is that if I say, well, I am a woman, I mean, the question is, do you mean biologically? And so now it can pivot into objective reality very quickly. I guess that.
Or even, can I say, like, even when you say that, so if somebody were to say that, if somebody were to say, I identify as a woman biologically, I think that belief would be worth interrogating. Because then you could ask somebody, well, when you say, because even if you follow that line of argumentation, there's a defeater for it based on how people call it like semantics, like it doesn't matter, but semantics are incredibly important. So running down this real quick, somebody would say, oh, I identify as a woman. You're like, hold on, you can identify biologically as a woman? They go, yes, actually, biologically I think I'm a woman. Oh, okay. Well, if you identify biologically as a woman, if we look at the category of women's sports, why do you think that category exists? Is it just for people that identify as a woman biologically, or do you think that category is supposed to invoke something more? If they say it's just for people that identify as a woman, then the obvious like joker defeater is like, okay, well, tomorrow The Rock IDs as a woman. Would you allow him to compete in women's sports? If they say yes, I mean, like it's absurd. Then you just ignore them, you blow them off because this is dumb, right? But the person is eventually going to decide, like, okay, fine. If I want to say that I identify as something biologically, fine, whatever. But the way I'm using biologically there is different than how basically everybody else uses biologically.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm probably better suited to use a different word. Like you can argue there that your semantic distinction here is very poor. You shouldn't be using the term biologically here because now you're standing in opposition to how everybody else in society uses biologically, I would say.
Sure, I would say it's an invalid argument because I cannot identify biologically. My biology is independent of how I identify. So therefore, it's not a valid statement to make. You could say my gender identity is different. The problem is we're now making that leap and claiming that you can
Well, is the difference that it would be valid if you just had a different definition of biology or whatever? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say that. That would be that seems.
The line, so this line of dialogue that you're on, I think is infinitely stronger than just saying like objective scientific truth. When you start saying things like you can't self-ID biologically, there's no category that exists like that, save for categories that are created especially to self-ID, like a name. Some people say, well, you can ID as whatever name you want. Okay, sure, but definitionally, names are just things we call ourselves. But you logically defeat a category by saying anybody can identify as the category. There has to be content to the category. You can't just say, I am a thing, and now you suddenly are the thing. Because if that was true, then the thing itself would be meaningless, right? I think those are super strong arguments, and I think they're a huge defeater for any like self-ID argument, I would say.
I agree with you there. Yeah.
Business taxes.
Shut up.
Is always.
I don't know. What are they disagreeing about yet? I don't actually know.
Yeah. I mean, I did that video on Professor Dave. Like, I'm genuinely trying to follow along, and I get what he's saying. Where we separate sex first from gender, but then we switch gender to gender identity. The problem is that gender identity, it's no longer you are a trans woman. No, it's now that you are a woman. And people ask me, what do you mean people are trying to change the fabric of reality? Where is that occurring? And when it comes to that position, I would say, well, right there. Yeah.
So I think that, okay, so let me summarize your argument so I'm understanding your argument. So you're saying that your issue with him is he's drawing a distinction initially between biological sex and gender identity. Then he's saying that your gender identity can be man or woman. And then he's saying, therefore, if a person identifies as man or woman, they can be referred to as man or woman. And you feel like it's making the boundaries between the sex-gender distinction more hazy than they should be, basically?
Yeah, I think his argument is going to lead to inevitable problems when we don't allow for that third category to exist, trans man, trans woman, but now we're making it no, they are a woman, and some people are even claiming like biologically not everyone's going to do that. So don't be surprised when people like J.K. Rowling are going to push back on that idea. And there's a lot of other problems that stem out of this. We had the changing room, the mother with the 6-year-old. Does she have a role, a choice in what occurs around that 6-year-old? That's my only.
Yeah. So I would.
Yeah, that's how I would respond to that. It's.
Mm-hmm. So I would caution.
Wait. Okay, look. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many sticks is this? This is 8 sticks. I want to figure out how much wood you can mine to actually get like emeralds. So you need 16 wood. You need 4. 4 of these is 1 emerald. Interesting.
The other person, I guess it would be, in this case, is it Professor Dave, in making like a forward movement here. So I would say that, like, for instance, the category distinction of like, we can agree there's some difference. There must be some difference between trans woman and cis woman. I think we both agree with that, right? Obviously there is. I think everybody in reality would agree with that. There's some distinction between trans woman and cis woman. However,
according to their definitions, yeah.
Yeah. However, in ordinary society, we typically would just identify somebody as a woman or a man, because we don't have enough information to come to the conclusion of if they're cis or trans, right? Like we're not genital checking or chromosome checking everybody, right? So like in that case, if somebody was arguing that in terms of social distinctions, we would probably just call trans women women and trans men men, because that's just typically how we ID each other, through how we look at each other and everything. I think that's okay. But then I would agree with you here, and it's an argument I get into with a lot of, or I used to get into with a lot of like super progressive people. You just have to be careful that you don't take this argument, because now when you're starting to blur the line between your biological underlying, you know, what you would call biological objective truth, I would refer to like your underlying content of what fills the category of man and woman biologically. If you start to blur those boundaries, you start to get into ridiculous worlds where like trans women on Twitter are, you know, tweeting that they're having periods and stuff, and it's like, this is fucking retarded, and something is obviously not correct here.
Another interesting point around Professor Dave's is that his argument was that this is grounded in biology, that it's you can scan the brain. I'm trying to make sure I understand this correctly, but then I've had different responses claiming that was proven invalid, so I'm not quite sure what to think on this. So if anyone has any additional information, but his claim is that you can scan the brain of someone who identifies differently, and you will see that literally physically in the therefore it's grounded in biology.
Well, so
but obviously in some cases possibly.
I would be careful about any statements about grounded in biology, because necessarily as biological beings, literally every single thing, arguably, depending on if you're an epistemic anti-realist or not, right? Arguably, even like logical anything is grounded in biology, because as humans, we're the ones who have invented things like logic, right? Technically. So I would be very careful if somebody makes the argument that this is grounded in biology. You can say literally everything. Schizophrenia is grounded in biology. Everything is grounded in biology. We're humans, right? Unless you're getting this from literally God or something. I've heard.
I agree with you. That's
Sure.
a danger of taking that position. I agree. I think there is a distinction from psychology and neuroscience.
Sure, yeah. As far as I'm aware, the truth statement of like, you know, are trans brains different than cis brains? I feel like there's one paper that argued there's.
Wow. Baloney. I need to get this guy in the pen, and then I'm gonna go to McDonald's. Fuck you guys.
There's like a slight difference in size, but I don't think there's like very strong or compelling arguments here yet. So I don't think that's like the strongest, but usually when people wheel out that like these people don't understand biology because they don't believe in trans people, usually what that person is, usually that person is going to make a bunch of silly-ish arguments, I think, or they're going to make really good ones about how scientific categories are all technically created as well. But that's a different type of argument, I guess. But
yeah. See, that's where my alarm bell goes off. It's like, well, the language we use to map onto that objective truth, it's science, which is what. Sure, the categories are the best we've been able to come up with, but that doesn't refute that there is objective truth, which we're striving to articulate.
Hopefully, we're striving to it, right? So, without getting like too so without getting too weird or out there, right? So you have this domain of philosophy called ethics. Okay, so normative statements, moral statements, things that are good or bad, right? Some people would argue, and I'm warm to this argument, that ethical distinctions actually precede truthful statements. And
very interesting. Keep yapping, man. All right, I'm gonna turn off my stream. I'm gonna go to McDonald's so that I can get food before their fucking breakfast menu closes. I might stream this afternoon. I don't know.